Don't you know the unconscious agreement that we made at the beginning of our relationship that I never
Yeah.
communicated to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
will fix you and you will love me forever and never leave
Yep.
me. And now that
Hmm.
you're cheating on me and that you're treating me like shit, I'm very angry.
I don't like this agreement anymore.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
We're talking about me tits.
Most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife.
Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things.
But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
No. Everything you want. Immaculate experience.
Back down.
You're getting like excited.
I do actually.
need tequila.
Exactly. Well, we are gonna get this one way or another. Oh, y'all, this is what our third, fourth, 10th time attempt at getting this podcast out today.
Wait, this is literally our fourth time recording it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it looks smooth so far. Let's hope for the best.
So, you guys, our topic for today is no one is coming to save you.
Clearly, the universe, like there are forces in the universe that are like, do not give them this key because it is the key to their liberation. Stop these bitches at once.
Totally. And it's like, oh, if you have the mentality of nobody's coming to save you, then you can't feel victimized by your life. And if you don't feel
Right.
victimized by your life, then we can't feel victimized by Riverside.
It's true though. Like, listen, we could be handling this very differently. I know people who a situation like this, it would ruin their whole evening. And when they finally got on the podcast to record it, it would be shit because they'd be in such a pissy mood.
So
And
true.
us, we're like, well, what should we do next? Should we shut down our computer and start again? Like, okay. Like, I guess we'll go for session number 4. Here we go.
Such a good point. Such a good point. I've had a few times where I've been like spasmo, have you been on Instagram before where you're like writing the most immaculate like text on a story and then literally you go to like put in like a link or a fucking GIF or whatever it is, and then somebody starts a live and you accidentally click on the live and it takes you out and it's some fucking asshat you never wanted to listen to anyways. And you're like,
Why the fuck am I following you?
number one, why am I following you? Number two, you ruined everything. I've like totally thrown a huff and a puff. And then I'm like, oh my God, stop being a spaz. And then again, it comes back to like laughing and being like, okay, you're not like, nobody's coming to save you. Like, you're not a victim to your life. Like, let's like, you know. So last week we did a banger of your love
Can't
cannot
save
save
anyone.
anybody. And we talked about codependency. If you haven't listened to that, definitely go back and listen. We talked about how, well, a lot of us empaths and fixers and codependent bitches are like, ooh, look, I have somebody who's hurting and wounded. Let me
Let
come
me
and save
rescue
you. I will
you.
rescue with my love, and I'm the one. I'm the one
I'm
who
the
will
chosen one.
I shall save you from your life. You never asked for it, but I shall do it. And then I shall expect a million things in return, but you don't know about them until later when I'm angry and resentful, and then I'm cold and
Holding you
manipulative.
hostage.
Totally. Don't you know the unconscious agreement that we made at the beginning of our relationship that I never communicated to you?
Yeah, exactly.
I will fix you and you will love me forever and never leave me. And now that you're cheating on me and that you're treating me like shit, I'm very angry.
I don't like this agreement anymore.
Yeah, totally.
This is
Anyways.
not part of our contract, by the way. How dare you?
And then we wonder why women get like labeled as psychos.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so true. And I mean, listen, in all fairness, it's not just women who do that. Like men can have these covert contracts too. But given that you and I are both women and we work with women and we see this a lot with women, we also want to do the flip side, which is, you know, if you want to be a rescuer, there always needs to be a victim, which means at some point you are going to play that victim position of like the world isn't, you know, this is the irony of like when you have the rescuer thing, like when the other person who you've gone in to rescue doesn't behave the way you want them to, then you immediately claim the victim position. And you are looking for someone to come in and save you from the situation that you created. And so today we're going to talk about the flip side.
Feeling like the victim, another fantastic role that I've played many times in my
I
life.
love that one.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, the first time I heard that somebody say that, like nobody's coming to save you and nobody's coming to rescue
Mhm.
you, it like I was sharing in take one of this podcast episode how pissed I was and how triggered I was
Mhm.
because I had such unconscious young parts online running the
Yeah,
show of my psyche and in my life that I really was looking for that anchor. I was looking for somebody like a father figure to come and rescue me.
Mhm.
And because my dad was, working a lot when I was a kid and he was a lovely, lovely man, but he was like out a lot and just very busy and there's a lot of struggle and money, finances, all that kind of stuff. And so my mom had her own trauma she was dealing with. And so there really wasn't like an anchor in that. I was thinking my whole life I was looking for that like really safe, secure person to come and like save me and like guide me. And there's this young part being like, well, I didn't get what I needed as a kid, so like, it's very
Mhm.
feeling victimized of like, well, show me the way. It's like this rite of passage that was never shown,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
think this happens a lot with us, which is
Sure.
why these very young girl parts stay online looking to be feeling victimized and looking to be rescued by a man or by somebody in their life, or looking of like somebody is responsible for me, like,
Totally.
right? And so got myself into all sorts of trouble, feeling victimized by life and feeling like I wanted somebody to rescue me and save me from my money troubles when I was younger, and from not knowing how to do anything and not knowing how to be responsible, and like not wanting yeah, to be responsible for myself or my actions or my life. And
Mhm.
so it was a very hard hitting message when I received that. And of course it happened, like, it felt like a gut punch because it happened right when uh before my spiritual awakening. But I kept seeing this right actually when I was in like the thick of my ex partner in his addiction. And
Mm.
so I was in the thick of my like unconsciousness, my codependency. And so when somebody was
Mhm.
like, nobody's coming to save you, I was like, do you know what hell I've been through? Like,
Mhm.
I'm going through
Mhm.
hell right now, and I am being like cheated on, and I'm having all these awful things happen, and nobody's like, I already felt so in the dumb. So hearing the message of nobody's coming to save you made me even angrier because I didn't have
Mhm.
the awareness at the time. But I was like, fuck you, and you don't know what I'm going through. And if only you knew the shit that I'm enduring right now, then you might have a bit more of a heart. Like, I was so
Mhm.
angry, and it wasn't until obviously having a spiritual awakening, diving into shadow work and inner child healing and parts work and nervous system and all that kind of stuff, that I was like, oh my God, it was one of the most like liberating statements, because it does, it's like a
Mhm.
sobering truth
Yeah.
that wait can actually be the greatest wake up call when you hear it. When you hear nobody's coming to rescue you or save you, there's this moment of like, okay, I can either feel victimized for the rest of my life, or I can fucking start looking at myself and how I've co-created my life and start to take control of it and
Yeah.
understand what's happened isn't, a lot of times it's very unconscious, but we are the only ones who can actually do the work to get ourselves out of the shithole that we may have
Mhm.
created and
Mhm.
co-created and designed in our life, and start building a new foundation and essentially reinventing yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, I think where people get really stuck is like, in the spiritual community, they talk about like you kind of attract these things in, and people can get really stuck on, well, what are you saying? Like, I'm at fault and like it's my fault that this person abused me,
Oh yeah.
and that's actually such a distortion of the teaching. But you're not responsible for someone else's behavior, but you are responsible for what you do in response to their behavior. So if someone is mistreating you and you have this program running of someone needs to come and save me, then you're going to stay in that position hoping for, the knight in shining armor archetype, whether that's a man or a woman or a person, it doesn't matter. You're still, or the parent coming in to rescue, versus taking, a real sobering look at your life and being like, this is not what my life is going to be, and I'm going to do something about it. I had one of those moments in my early 20s, and I was in an abusive relationship. And my partner at the time had anger issues, and he had this traumatic brain injury. So he actually just didn't have control over that part of his brain. So, like, he would just like lose it and like go into a fit of rage over like a leaf falling. Like, it
Wow.
would make no like logical sense. But obviously, living with someone like that is not exactly a great sitch.
Sure.
And so we got into it one night, and he punched the wall like right next to my face. And this was like the second incident that we had had. And I knew in that moment, I was like, the next time it's going to be me. And I just remember having this moment of like, this is not my fucking life. Like, this is not the life that I'm here to live.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit. And instead of like collapsing into, a more victim position, meaning like, don't you see how bad this guy is? And, trying to get those victim points. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do something about it. And I made up my mind that I was going to move out. And I made up my mind that I was going to go back to school. And I worked at doubles for an entire month at the restaurant that I worked at, saved enough money, and enrolled in college. And once I was enrolled in college, then I called my mom and I was like, listen, I need to move back home. And at the time, her and I weren't talking. We didn't have a relationship. And so that was a really risky move for me to make that request. But she was the only person, and like that was the only space where he wouldn't be able to find me.
Mm.
Because my dad literally lived down the hall from us in my old apartment. So I couldn't go back to my old apartment because it was 2 doors down. He would be able to find me.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. It's your neighbor. And so it was like this reclamation of my power of, I'm going to make a powerful choice for myself that is going to change the trajectory of my life. And that's the thing about getting out of this pattern is it's just one decision, one choice at a time that slowly starts to shift the trajectory of the direction that you're going. And each time you do it, you build more confidence and competence in your ability to navigate hard things, to deal with challenges, to deal with the unexpected nature of life. I think a lot of people are just wanting life to be this certain thing. There is no certainty in life. And yet we keep chasing it all the time and then end up disappointed. And at the very worst, like really blown out by it instead of just accepting that life is in a constant state of change and there's no real certainty. And if you want any degree, any semblance of certainty, well, the best way to do that is to become the creator of your life, to take action that's congruent with the person that you know you're here to be and start designing your life intentionally instead of living your life on default where life is happening to you, because those two go hand in hand. When you think life is happening to you, then of course you need someone to come in and save you from that because you're not going to do anything about it. And so there are always these choice point moments that happen in every day, every month, every year, every decade of your life is full of them. And then what you do with it determines what's going to happen next, like what game you're actually playing. And so we're really big on like play a game that's worth playing and play in a way where you're going to set yourself up to win. But if you're dependent on someone coming in to save you, that's not a game that you can win and feel good in, because your freedom, your expression, your success is always conditional in relation to something outside of yourself. Versus when I take the power back and kind of take the steering wheel of my life, at least I get to direct where this vehicle is going. And, you know, when we have these moments of like, I've made like a huge turning point in my life, it doesn't mean that you're never going to collapse back into that victim consciousness of like, I want someone to come and save me and rescue me. That comes up for me all the time. Whenever I hit a new edge, whenever there's something really uncomfortable I don't want to deal with, of course, like the first impulse is like, I want someone to come in and deal with this for me. I don't want to have to do it. And that's fair. I let myself have it for like a couple minutes and then I'm like, okay, now let's get back in the adult seat here and what are we going to do about it? But so many people get stuck in that spot of like, I want someone to come save me because there's probably a time, like you were saying in your experience, that you needed that as a child and it didn't happen. And so, yeah, it isn't fair that that happened when you were a little one and you had to kind of bear that energetic intensity. And yet, it's still your responsibility to reparent those parts and give yourself the thing that your parents couldn't give you. And that's, I think, where people get really, really stuck and tripped up.
Oh, yeah. Actually, something I love from Jen Sincero, her book, You Are a Badass. I love that book so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when she says, I can't remember the exact line, but she says something like, it's not your fault you're fucked up.
Right, right.
But it's your responsibility like
Yeah.
to like unfuck
Unfuck
yourself.
yourself.
Totally paraphrasing, probably not like 25% of the words, but like that's the gist of it is
Yeah.
that, you know, again, it's just the whole human journey, the human experience is so wild and it's, who you are middle age usually is not who you actually were designed to be,
Mm.
right? It's morphed based on survival strategies and patterns and unhelpful coping mechanisms, usually.
Yeah,
Again, not for everybody, but for a lot of people.
sure.
And it more and more morphs us into this person. And it's not who we are, right? It's all subconscious programming. It's a computer program essentially that
Mm-hmm.
was downloaded by communities and your culture and your parents and church, whatever religious influences and all sorts of
Yeah.
things and what's good and bad. And so I think this is why we have so much success in Club Unhinged. And this is
Mm.
why we created it, is because a lot of the women who come to us are in that, we'll call it their holy fuck moment. It's that
Mm-hmm.
place where they're brought to their knees and
Mm-hmm.
through sometimes divorce, sometimes it's through a health crisis, somebody dies, somebody's, just a career implodes, or there's just this like deep ache and like almost tiredness. It
Yeah.
isn't like it's not like anything that can be
It's a
cured with a,
soul ache.
yeah, it can't be cured with a green juice and a couple yoga classes, some yoga nidras. It's like a fucking full blown, like, I just know there's this like rumble beneath the surface of like, this isn't the
Mm-hmm.
life that my soul wants. And I think
Yes.
that, we call them, a lot of society calls them midlife crises. I call them
Mm-hmm.
like your like great awakening. It's like the time. It's like your soul's like, all right, I'm gonna lean back. I'm gonna let you do your human thing. I'm gonna let you get all sorts of banged up and fucked
Mm-hmm.
up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna let you accumulate a bunch of unprocessed trauma, and then all of a sudden we're gonna have this poof moment
Mm-hmm.
where something's gonna break and it's gonna crack you open, and you might feel like you're dying, which you kind of are. It's your old self
Yep.
dying, but
Yep.
there's this rebirth. There's this opportunity. There's this you 2.0, like we talk about in the club, that is waiting and like just pulsing and like just filled with desire of
Like, claim me.
claim me, and let me build this life that is in total resonance and alignment with who I actually am. And this is
Yeah.
what is so exciting, is a lot of people have this like, oh, I'm 40 or I'm 45 or I'm 50 or I'm whatever age I am, and I'm too old to XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
like I can't do that thing, I can't reinvent myself. And you and I are like, we're the
Hello.
fucking comeback.
Queens.
We are the comeback queens. We are the queens of reinvention, right? It's like we have had to burn down, rebuild, like so
Mm-hmm.
many versions of ourselves. And, we've had, Kelsey and I both, I shared this in a recent email, but like we both had betrayal. We both had business
Yeah.
partnerships that have gone completely south. We've had, infidelity. We've had like
Health
so many
stuff.
health crazy crisis, burnout, like fatigue, like fucking crazy nervous system overload. We've been like in our we've both done the hustle thing. We've had to completely again find businesses and reinvent ourselves so many times over and over and over again. I went through a divorce, had a premature baby. Like we've got, there's so many things we've navigated. And I think you and I are like, we make transformation and reinvention, I think, sexy and
Mm-hmm.
fun and playful, because this doesn't have to be. A lot of people hit this point and they're like, oh my God, see, another thing, one more thing I have to deal with. And I'm like, bitch, this is your wake up call. This is your soul
Mm-hmm.
being like,
Hello.
Knock, knock. I'm at the door. I'm ready for you. And we don't need to be so afraid of the unknown and of that change. And that can
Hmm.
be a very scary portal for a lot of people, which is why we have the club. We created it to be a 12-month container because
Yeah.
if you come, the person you come in as, you walk through that door of Club Unhinged, you ain't coming out the same version. You're
Mm-mm.
coming out elevated, on fire, powerful, like just like obsessed with yourself and your life.
Yeah.
Like just being like, you know what I mean? Making way more fucking money, having a totally upgraded blueprint around love, around your body, pleasure, sensuality, your bank account, like all of it. You're like this
Hmm.
liberated fucking species. Like we've seen so many crazy things happening in the club, and it's just so exciting because there's so many people who walk into that so afraid and like nervous
Yeah.
and like questioning themselves and can I do this and having lack of belief in themselves, or maybe they've tried a lot of things before as well and they're like,
Hmm.
I've already done the things and I've been cold plunging and I've been
Hmm.
meditating and affirmationing and like none of it works. I can't raise my vibration. I'm like, bitch, you're burnt out. Your nervous system is fucking
Hmm.
fried. So
Yeah.
trying to layer on a bunch of strategies and spiritual principles on top of a completely dysregulated nervous system and a lot of trauma, it never
Hmm.
sticks because there's
Nope.
no solid foundation. And so you and I go like deep into all of that, the nervous system recoding your blueprint, and so that you are become a magnet and attraction. Like it's like the greatest manifestation portal, learning how to
Hmm.
manifest basically your dream life, I think, on the planet. Like it's so
Hmm.
fun. And so,
Hmm.
yeah, like it's just, I think hearing that for the first time, nobody's coming to save you, just really triggered me at first because of where I was at in my consciousness.
Hmm.
But it can be the most beautiful invitation to your awakening and that life that is just like waiting for you, like you said, to claim.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing that kind of sets apart the women in Club Unhinged versus maybe the masses is that the woman who is a fit for the club in this type of work is ready to give that up. And
Yeah.
she's like, you know what? You're right. No one's coming to save me. And I don't want to save anyone else either. Like, I want to get out of that low level game that I've been conditioned to play. And I want to play a more elevated game. I want to use my creative life force energy to generate, whether it's my business, my family, my relationship, like my creativity and like what I'm supposed to do in the world. Like she wants to really like make an impact, and we can't do that, as you said, when we have a completely dysregulated nervous system. We're trying to create on top of that and not deal with like all of the emotional fragments and like kind of interference, this energetic interference that's there when we're like, it's like sweeping everything under the rug and then getting victimized that you keep tripping over all the shit that's underneath the rug. Right.
Oh, I'm thinking,
And
I'm thinking of, sorry, I don't know why Jensen Cheryl is popping in again, but like, do you remember that part in her book? You've read it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where she talks about it's like there's a dead skunk under the house
Right. Yes,
and
exactly.
you're trying to put a fucking air freshener.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
what majority of personal development and
Is.
spirituality and that whole personal growth is like. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm not qualified to even look or go there with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a crystal. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you to chant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you to just affirm and write out, I am abundant. I am beautiful. I love my life. It's like the equivalent of putting a fucking, those pine air
Yeah.
fresheners.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
trying to put a bunch of those on top of the dead skunk. I'm like, bitch, we got some removal. We got some excavation that needs
Mm-hmm.
to happen because
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but saying this is why this is like one of the biggest things I get frustrated with is people have that idea. They're like, if I just think positively
Yeah.
and I act as if, I'm like, it is impossible to act as if in the manifestation world
Yeah.
when your body is holding trauma and your nervous is dysregulated because that is the cocktail of your vibration. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't actually act as if when there's literally dead skunks inside the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
why so many people are, I think, are so not sad, what's the word? They're so frustrated, or they're questioning themselves and like, oh my God, am I not trying hard enough, or
Yeah.
am I not high vibe enough? So that because these things, I'll look at everyone around me manifesting these things, I'm not, but I swear I'm acting as if, and I'm like, oh my God, I love you. There's nothing wrong with you, but we
Hmm.
just have to remove some of that energetic debris, some of that unprocessed emotion, and digest it. Because as soon as you do, your vibration rises, it goes through the roof, and you actually
Hmm.
acting as if isn't something you try to do. It's literally a natural byproduct of who you become.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, sorry, I just had to go on that
No,
tangent for a
I
minute there.
love that you did. I love that you did because it's so true. And I was talking to a girlfriend about this the other day, and we were talking about relationships and like, how can I create more safety for my partner when they're really triggered? And I'm like, it's not about the things that you say, because I could give you like the perfect script. If your nervous system is dysregulated when you're saying any of this, it is never going to work. So the only way to generate transformation in that relationship is by you learning how to regulate your nervous system so that when you come into those interactions, what's being read energetically is like, oh, there's safety here. And the same is true you with you. So, like, we want to upgrade, but like, we haven't dealt with what's in the basement. And like you said, a lot of people in this industry are just not equipped to get down in the basement with you. I don't know why I'm having this vision. I watched this horror movie last year. I think it was
Saw
called
17.
I think it was called like The Deliverance or something. I don't remember. But there's this scene. I'm gonna ruin the movie for everybody, but like the peak of the movie, there's demons and like
I don't know how many of our listeners are watching the reference.
fair, fair. And there's like a portal to hell in the basement, and like this woman is like fighting the demon, and she literally has to go down into the basement where there's this portal to hell and have this battle with the demon. And this is so metaphorical for life. Like, this is why, I mean, I don't like to watch scary stuff very often because, I mean, it's not really like gonna support me and where I want to go. But occasionally I'm like, if there's a good movie, I will watch it. And this one, I'm so glad I did because I was watching it through this metaphorical lens of personal development. I'm like, oh, this is exactly like the hero's journey.
Mm.
And there are all of these forces of darkness, which are our wounds and all of our undigested emotional debris, and they are haunting us. And the only way to deliver yourself from that evil is to go down into the fucking basement and duke it out. Like, let your soul come in and take the fucking lead. And no matter how many times these demons try and pummel you, you're going to meet them. And you're not going to stop until they're slayed. And this is the difference between the work that we do and, a lot of that surface level work that's out in the industry is that a lot of people will just be in full denial that there's even a basement. Never mind being equipped to go down into the basement with you. And we're not going to fight your demons for you, but we are going to hold the energetic containment while you do. And we have done this for ourselves individually. So we know what it means to go into the basement and fight those demons and clean up those carcasses that are down there. Like, we know what it takes. And it can be messy, but it's actually a lot less messy when you have guides who aren't afraid of the dark. Guides that can go down into their own basement. And when we can go down into our own basement, we go down the stairs with you and we bring like all the lights. So it's not as scary. In like Home Alone, when Kevin McAllister goes into the basement and he's so fucking afraid, it's like you go down to the basement and you turn on all the lights and you're like, wait, the thing I was afraid of was just a heat, like a furnace. That was it. And that's what we do. Like, we come down the stairs with you and turn on the lights so you can see the demons that you thought you were fighting. They're not so scary. They're not like these, terrible forces against you. They're just wounded parts that need to be loved back into wholeness. And so when we approach it from that standpoint, then you can kind of clean things up quite quickly.
Oh my God, so
And then you
fast.
can come back up the stairs, and then we're like, ooh, what do we want to create now that the foundation of the house is solid? Because again, anything you build on a weak foundation is going to combust, it's going to crumble. And so we want to make sure that you've got a very strong foundation to create from so that you can generate that life that you're so fucking obsessed with, and that you feel so strong and competent and you trust yourself to fuck around and find out how good it can really get, meaning you keep upping the ante. Like you keep going for bigger, for more. You're like, ooh, okay, I know I can handle this. I built more capacity. Let's go bigger. Like, what could really be possible for me if I went all in on me, my life, my gifts, my magic? And again, like, you can't really do that in a sustainable way unless the basement's clean of all the carcass and all of the, you know, cockroaches and all of the termites that are eating at the foundation. We got to clear that out and reinforce it so that your foundation is strong, so that you can really expand into where you're supposed to be.
Take me to church, Kelsey Grant. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Oh,
Lessons
so
from
good.
horror movies 101.
Well, you know what's fucking hilarious is that I wouldn't know if it's a horror movie, but it felt like a horror movie. But
Yeah.
have you ever seen the movie called The Edge?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So my boyfriend was like, "We got to watch this movie." I'm thinking it's like a fucking romance or some comedy or
Right.
whatever. No, it is a fucking. I'm terrified of grizzly bears. Okay,
Okay.
so it's like this billionaire takes his like model wife, younger wife, like on this photo shoot out in like Alaska or some shit. And anyways, long story short, plane crash, and they're like, I mean, they're number one shit out of luck because they're out in the wilderness. Nobody fucking knows. It's like shitty
Right.
thing after shitty thing. On top of all the shitty things, a fucking grizzly bear starts hunting them. Like, and this grizzly bear, you gotta watch this shit just for the fucking grizzly bear because it's a real grizzly bear. And they've obviously trained, like, it's like grizzly bear, the trainer, all the
Dang.
shit. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's fucked up, you know, when shit's actually real.
Yeah.
So, the reason to land the plane on this is that the grizzly bear in it is chasing them, and of course like they're running from it and they're trying to outrun it and they're falling down fucking waterfalls, and it's just crazy, and it is like full blown. It's obviously hungry, it's terrifying, and they're running, and finally the guy says, he's very like well equipped for being outside, and he finally says, "We're gonna kill the bear." And the guy's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He goes, "No, we're gonna lure it in." Oh, because it had attacked and like already killed somebody. And so
Okay.
apparently once they have done that, then they get a taste for like human, and
Mm-hmm.
so they will actually go and like hunt human, which they don't usually, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like anyways, apparently this is a fact. So it was like it's going to continue to stalk them essentially,
Right.
right? And so he finally had a point where he's like, "We're going to lure it in. Like we're going to bring it in because we have to face this thing." Like, and I remember sitting there thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even fathom like what's worse, being never knowing, like constantly being on edge because at any point you're being hunted,
Right. Right.
or being the one who's like, I'm just going for it and I might die in the meantime, but like it's my only real chance of actually, otherwise
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly running in fear. And they ended up doing it. Like they lured it in. It was this whole fucking scene. It was crazy, but it just got me thinking about how this is like life, and how I often use the term when I'm working with clients around like our fears. Like you said, if you haven't explored the basement of our psyche, a lot of our fears are just operating from very young parts of us, and they're very irrational.
Yeah.
So they're very, when you actually go into them, they're very irrational, but they feel massive. They feel like grizzly bears. They
Mm-hmm.
feel like
Mm-hmm.
great white sharks. They feel like rabid fucking animals, like apex
Demons.
predators who are going, demons who are going to come and like get us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we don't explore them. And so there's something really powerful, like you were saying, of like, imagine you're running across a field and there's this like rabid dog like chasing you. Sometimes when you actually just turn and you face it and you're like, "Come at me." You know what? I remember the first time I had this crazy like it was like a meditation where I felt like I was being chased. Like it was like something was chasing me, and I had this crazy anxiety all the time. And I was like, I didn't even stop to like explore it. And I remember one time I did, and the visual I got when my eyes were closed, it was like, you know, The Predator, that fucking crazy ass scary movie, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alien and Predator. Like that thing's fucking nuts, psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I was like, the visual in the meditation was like, I was like running through the forest, and this thing was chasing me, chasing me, chasing me. And then finally, I remember just thinking, I was at this point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I fucking give up. I'm so tired of running from this fear, this anxiety, this whatever this is. But I just stopped and I turned towards it, and it was like the thing was like literally over me, about to like fucking chokehold me and kill me. And then, but I was just like, I surrender. Like I just, and I'm telling you, the visual, it's like the predator just, it was like a big thing on stilts, and the thing just like dissolved. And in it was this tiny fucking, probably like 4-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I built that predator to like scare you constantly, because it was like my protector. Like it was, I had to create this big thing to scare you, because I can't handle feeling hurt again. I can't handle
Mm-hmm.
feeling rejected or humiliated again.
Yep.
And so we do this, our psyche does this, is that if we've experienced humiliation, embarrassment, we've had been betrayed by somebody, we've had wounding, it will actually create these completely out of context fears for us,
Yep.
to have us never experience that sensation again,
Mm-hmm.
because we can't handle it. And so when we go into our psyche, which again doesn't have to be a scary thing. It can feel scary initially, but when you start doing it and you start like slam shaying, and you go in there and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking check it out. It's like, you know how you were saying how you like in Club Unhinged, it's like we go down with you, like,
Mm-hmm.
and we go to explore it. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
this visual of like, not only do we go down, we're like, we're throwing a party. We're like,
Yeah.
get the boom box, get some fucking pizza,
Sparklers. Yeah.
get some sparklers, some fucking champagne or some spicy margs. Like we're not even just gonna go down there and it's gonna be this like, all right, now we need to very go down. It's like we actually make it
Fun.
so fun and palatable, and just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I think because you and I both experienced a lot of our shadows and a lot of our own stuff, we don't have a fear. Like we're not like, oh my God, I hope you're not going to be fucked up. We're just like, oh my God, you're going to come out so on fire. Like this is
Yeah.
going to be such a smooth thing. Like even in our coaching, you see it in the club, you know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people come with these like dramatic things, and they're like, you can tell they're like waiting for everyone to be like, oh my God. And then you and I are like, yeah, cool. All right. So what else?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so what if that happened? What would happen? And like the fear, it's like an instant shift. It can be so easy. I
Mm-hmm.
think because we've trained so much in this, and we don't make anything a big deal. So it's just like as
Mm-hmm.
soon as somebody says something and they have a question about something, and we're just like, so like, yeah, cool.
Yep.
It can't grow into anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start truth telling, and then we start being more honest, and then all of a sudden life gets a lot easier, and we're just like, oh, because we're not hiding under masks and like everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally frustrated, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, but I'm totally fine. It's okay, right? And we're seeing a lot of that. We just see a lot of very brilliant, high achieving, like creatives and amazing, like just icons and these change makers and cycle breakers. A lot in their families feeling kind of like black sheep, feeling like they don't belong, and like just have spent a life questioning, I think, themselves and their art and their craft and what they're here to do. And I think we just help them realize that like that's actually your it factor. That's the thing that makes you so special and so unique. And you and I can see that so quickly. So we keep seeing these amazing women not only transforming their relationships and their relationship to their body and the relationship to like their life, but like they're falling in love with themselves, they're falling in love with their bodies, they're falling in love with their lives, they're falling in love with their careers, they're creating completely, leaving corporate,
New
going into
ones.
brand
Yeah.
new careers. Like there's all these really exciting things that are happening, um, and I think we've really found something special. We found the pathway for people
Yeah.
to do it in a way that's just so fucking accessible. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if that didn't enroll you into the club, I don't know what will.
well, seriously, I think
For
like
real.
there's just why we created this as well is because we found personal development, personal growth, spirituality, just all, relational work, all of it. Like we found it really boring and
Mm-hmm.
very just kind of like cookie
Blah.
cutter, just like very blah. And we're like, we're really uninspired by this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we need, and also you and I have both had very unconventional journeys. Our
Yeah.
paths have been definitely not linear. And we've had to have
Mm-mm.
so many days where like, how can we help people and how can we help, you and I both had very successful individual businesses. And I know you and I to to a degree. We both serve as well, like, you know, outside of the club to a degree, but like we've
Yeah.
joined forces as our main thing to be like, let's help as many women as we can, like really
Mhm.
understand that this is the greatest moment of their lives. They're being initiated into their awakening. You know, if you're here, you've probably already done a lot of personal development, a lot of that spiritual work, a lot of you have a really fantastic foundation. Maybe you've been into
Mhm.
manifestation, maybe you've been like working in relational, you know, containers and all that, but you're just in a space where maybe nothing has really clicked, or you know it all cognitively, but you're not feeling it in your body, or your life's maybe not moving in the direction or pace that you're hoping. And so I think this is
Mhm.
really where we like can speed things up and get shit cracking so fast. And it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful community of also
Mm.
women who are so like hyping each other up. There's
I
no
know.
bullshit. There's zero. Um, we've never had anybody in the club that's been like a fucking asshat. You know what I mean?
No.
Just come in and we've had to be like, okay, out. Like I think we're
Mhm.
very particular about who we bring in.
Totally.
But fuck, it's a wicked space. Like we designed what we wish we had. Like
Yeah.
this would have been like the one-stop shop for us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So
100%. I mean, we now are in a place where we are living lives that we really love and we're obsessed with. And it took at least me, you know, a good decade to get there. And with a lot of trial and error. And like, that's my path. Like, that's how it goes. But like, not everybody has to do that trial and error, you know, 10-year grind, 15-year grind to figure it out. And, you know, we would rather you get on the trajectory so that you can get on living the life that you were here to live. Like you don't need to fucking slog it for decades. You know, likely if you're a fit for the club, you are at that stage of reinvention. You're at that point of like, okay, something needs to fucking change and I'm ready. I'm ready to go all in on me. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to clean out the basement. And I don't want to, you know, take all of these fucking detours and then still not end up where I want to be. And that's why guidance and having mentorship and also a community of women who will continue to reflect back to you what a fucking badass you are when you temporarily forget and have amnesia about your gifts and how incredible you are. Like, no one's letting you forget in the club. That is for fucking sure.
well, you can't fall asleep, right? We
No.
learn so well. We reprogram our neural pathways through repetition and consistency. And I think that's why we created the container the way that we did, is because,
Yeah.
you know, we have so many live calls every month. We have like 6 live calls. They have a private podcast. They have, you know, all these different avenues, challenges, and coaching and mentorship, and like all these pieces, and all of
Mhm.
our library and courses and material that we've ever created. Because when you're plugged into something and you
Mhm.
stop unplugging the oven, when you keep going over and you're like, am I cooking yet? And then you're like, you know, it's like,
It
no,
can't heat up, bro.
stop touching it. Like there's this momentum that happens, and there's
Yeah.
a full blown identity shift that happens. And I mean, yeah, it's just exciting. And I'm so excited to have the doors open again this month. So
Mhm.
you may or may not know, but Kelsey and I open and close the doors to the club because we don't have enrollment all year. We usually open it a couple times a year. And so
Yeah.
for the month of July, we have it open, and we always have fun, different bonuses, spicy bonuses and things. And these are really just things that help your higher self, your human, make a decision.
Mhm.
You're already going to know if you're fit for the club because you're going
Yeah.
to feel it in your bones. You're going to have that like energetic resonance. We just like to throw in fun things to make it fun and
Mhm.
abundant for yourself and for us, and to just be like, yeah, let's fucking do this today. I like
Mhm.
that. Let's do this. Like
Mhm.
we're a little unconventional that way, and we yeah. So we have applications. We'll link it in
Yeah.
the
Show
show
notes.
notes below. And if you're feeling the resonance for this, highly recommend you get in. You know, there is
Mhm.
no perfect time. Our mind loves to give us all sorts of excuses. Time, money are usually the, oh, I got to check with my partner. Like there's some really fun ones that we notice.
Mhm.
And we've used it ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, but I said the other day to my certification group, I said, if somebody isn't purchasing something, it really is like they don't quite understand the value yet, right?
Mhm.
And that's how we weed out people in the club, is because we're looking for people that are like all in. It's not like
Yeah.
a, how do I make this, like it's not like I don't think I can because of these, this, and this. It's like, how do I become the woman who makes that happen, and how do I
Totally.
resource myself to be able to do this
Mhm.
and to go all in,
Yeah.
because that's really who we're ready for. They're
Mhm.
definitely not perfectionism, definitely not have to have it all together, but
Mm-mm.
it is a place and space where you're like, I know I can fucking do this, and
Yep.
I'm gonna like anchor that knowing in by making a financial commitment to something and a energetic commitment to something, which is really really important, as you and I both
Mhm.
know, to
Mhm.
anchor in that transformation, get it going. So
Absolutely. So send us your application and also get yourself enrolled for our 3-day event in July. July
yeah.
17th, 18th, 19th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the reignition. So, this is for you if you're at that spot where you're like, wow, I have outgrown my life and I'm ready to feel turned the fuck on by the life I'm living, the things that I'm doing, and I don't really know how to activate that. I need to reignite myself. So, we're going to be doing 3 days of magic, of teaching. We're going to have some coaching in there. So, it's a really great opportunity to come in and be in the energetic vortex of us live. You know, being on the podcast is great. You're receiving these energetic transmissions. So your soul's already kind of getting a feel for it. Your human is getting a taste of it, but it's really different when we're in the space live with you, real time. So we encourage you to get into that. Send us your application for the club if you're feeling the call, and we'll be back next week with something else.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
link the reignition below, and also, you guys, the best part, it's a fucking free event.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
free. Now listen, do not mistake free for low value.
Uh-uh.
We fucking pour our heart, our soul. This is not like some cheesy fucking infomercial of like, okay, now here's slide number one. Like it's just a party. It's a way,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we've outgrown your life. You're ready to reinvent. And that's the whole frequency you're going to step into when you come
Yeah.
on those calls live with us and just feeling the vibe. And we're so excited. And also just want to note as well, when you apply for the club, we set up a call with you.
Yeah, we do an
If it's a
application interview.
Yeah, we do an application interview. And so it's a great way as well. We don't just, even if you apply, we don't necessarily accept the application.
Mm-hmm.
We are, if it looks, obviously we pre-qualify, but if there is an energetic match there, we set up an actual call with either one of us or both of us together,
Yep.
because we like to suss you out and see
Mm-hmm.
what the vibe is and see
Mm-hmm.
if you're ready for the clubby club. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to make sure that it's a fit because, like Christine said, we're so intentional about this container. And when you have people who are in that same frequency together, it becomes this powerful ecosystem. And you put one person in that ecosystem who is not an energetic match, it fucks it for everyone. So like we take it seriously. We take your transformation seriously. We take everyone's transformation seriously. We take our transformation seriously. And so we're really intentional with how this process unfolds and to make sure that it's a fit for us, it's a fit for you. Um, and that's just how we roll. Like this is how we upgrade into U 2.0. Like you don't just get to U 2.0 by doing the bare fucking minimum and by not having boundaries and standards. So we've coded all of this into how we even run the infrastructure of the business, which is so cool. So you're getting all of that energetically just by being in the ecosystem, which I'm totally obsessed with. And I'm excited to read your applications and meet you on an application call sometime soon. Meow. Anything else you want to add there, Bano?
I'm just obsessed with us and everyone on his
I know.
podcast. And if you're listening, and I just love seeing epic people. There's just the collective is very asleep right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see more women who have the know and the zing in them, like they have that
Yeah.
knowing and that zing within them. I'm a manifester, so and you're a mangen, so I feel like we're really meant to spark people and get them
Mm-hmm.
going. And I just can like just got a visual of like being the lighter, and it's like if
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and it's like
It's the 4th
come
of July, baby.
come forth and let us fucking spark you up, because there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing more exciting than seeing powerful women like really step into their mastery and go from like questioning themselves or like believing in themselves even and having that faith, but like really not necessarily seeing the results yet, because we're very
Mm-hmm.
results driven, and
Totally.
it's a no fluff, like you're in there and you're transforming. And Yeah, so I'm so pumped. So pumped.
Me too. Me too. All right,
All right, we
friends.
love you.
We love you. We will be back next week, and we'll see you at the event, and we look forward to reading your application soon.
Love
Love
you.
you. Bye. All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating, and we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.